Hello, magical people. My name is Lou, and I would like to welcome you back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be doing a pick a card reading, and the general theme for this reading is what is the next positive thing coming into your life. So, I have no idea what's going to come up. I have pre-selected the 3 piles and shuffled them and everything, but I have not yet looked at any of the cards, so this is going to be a journey of discovery for all of us. As I mentioned, there are 3 readings, and I will insert a picture here. Reading 1. This reading is for you, and again, we're going to be looking at the next positive things coming into your life. So we have here the first card, and this is a combination of tarot cards and oracle cards. So we have the love card. Aphrodite, I call to thee to bring a true love here for me. We also have Wombat Spirit, be at home. And Specialization. Ooh, nice. Autumnal Equinox, which just passed. Release. Oh, I love this. I love this. We also have the Council of Animals, which is known as the Judgment card. All right, all right. And, oh, goodness gracious, and we also have another major arcana. We have the Forest Lord, which is otherwise known as the Emperor. Wow, Group 1, I really see some awesome big things coming for you. We have, for another oracle card, Giving Love, or Give Love. And we also have the Arrow. For a hummingbird, we have sweet and fiery, your emotions are at the root of this situation. Use the color red to soothe and heal. So, and it's kind of funny, even as the way I've been just laying down these cards, there's a lot of blues and greens on one side and a lot of brilliant red on the other, just by chance. Or is it? Ah, nice. We have the 6 of Pentacles. We have the 3 of Pentacles. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles. Oh my goodness, lots of Pentacles energy here. And also the 7 of Pentacles, or 7 of Roots. Okay, Group 1. So, first of all, it really seems as though there's a couple of big changes that are coming to you with both a couple of major arcana cards as well as this Ace of Pentacles. I feel like there's a lot of things that have been sort of coming full circle for you. And you're being invited to release that which no longer serves you, just like the oak tree, or, well, a huge variety of other trees that also do this. But the oak tree comes to mind specifically because that is the oak tree is a symbol of strength. And in the Ogham, which is a Celtic alphabet based on trees, that is one of the predominant meanings of the oak tree, is there's deep wisdom and deep strength that comes from the wisdom there. So anyhow, so I see it's a time to release, moving out of energies that aren't serving you, but beyond that, also kind of taking what you've learned in this most recent season of your life and learning how to dig deeper in the places that need to be explored further. So, you're being called on to kind of, get a little bit of specialization going in terms of where you focus your energies. Now, with the first 2 oracle cards that came out being Love and Be at Home, with the Wombat Spirit, I kind of feel like maybe you'll be moving home, or maybe you're moving in with somebody. It doesn't have to necessarily be a romantic partner. It could even be just a good friend. You're moving into it, getting a new housemate situation going on. I have no idea what the actual particulars are, but it does seem as though there is a theme of having love come to you, and that also being a place that you're coming home to. So even Be at Home, the Wombat Spirit card, that doesn't even need to necessarily be speaking to your physical home. It could be also the love in whatever way it shows up for you, and this could even be for some of you a stepping towards self-love. but there's going to be a feeling of that love bringing you home into your body, and kind of being in a place where we have the, like I said, this Council of Animals is otherwise known as the Judgment cards. And like one of the things that's kind of coming up here for me with this card right now is that all of these animals are speaking with the voice of different parts of you in a way. And they have come to an agreement. Like they are all aligned in the same direction and looking towards the cohesive self that is you, to lead it all forward, to move it all forward. Like, and again, with the Emperor card, I think it's kind of interesting here that, that the Emperor speaks of structures and speaks of boundaries. And so, again, there's for some of you, this could be physical structures or physical boundaries, and gaining a new level of mastery and responsibility for those things. Or this could be energetic spaces and energetic boundaries. Again, we have this love card coming up here, and like, I really feel like there is some, like you've been going through there's been some healing that's happening, and now you are in this place. This is the Six of Pentacles, and so now you're in this place of being able to have brought balance back to a situation, and that's allowing you to be altruistic. And again, this, even though this is the Pentacles card, it doesn't necessarily have to mean money specifically. This could even just be the way you show up in the world, being more able to give from a place of abundance. So maybe that's that, if you have a friend in need, suddenly, because you're in a better place, because you're more at home and embodied in yourself, you have more emotional space to show up for this friend in need than maybe you would have had at other times. I mean, of course, this could also literally be money. So, if you've been in a place where it has been a struggle for a while, then it seems as though things are going to be kind of, again, coming back into balance and leading you to a place of real fruitfulness. There's so much Pentacles energy here that, I do really feel like, yeah, there's a lot of earthiness here. There's a lot of earthiness here with the Forest Lord, this Seven of Pentacles card. It's a time of growth. Like, this is also, along with kind of like having that reflection that comes from deciding and what we're going to work on releasing, from that's by its very nature, that is a sort of assessment that's happening. And like, while that can sometimes be a little bit uncomfortable in the moment, calling myself out here, while that can certainly be uncomfortable in the moment to have to reassess, especially if we find that things that we were hoping would work out to be more fruitful, we're realizing that we really need to change our tactics. So like, there can be this moment of disappointment with it, or not even disappointment. Yeah, I guess disappointment. There can be a grief that comes up from having to reassess, because sometimes, very rarely, very rarely are we in a situation where we're like, I need to reassess. I'm reassessing. No, I don't need to change everything. Everything's going great. Like, that just doesn't happen, because when things are flowing like that for us, we rarely feel the need to stop and reassess. So by its very nature, it's a reflective time, and it's a time to also show up to that conversation with yourself or your situation with a lot of compassion and giving love to yourself. Because again, once we get to that point of having gone through the assessment period, that's when the growth really comes, because we are allowing ourselves to be open-eyed to really see what there is to be seen. And when we have our eyes open and we have our minds showing up to reassess situations, that's when we can become the arrow. And I totally just got goosebumps all over my arms as I said that. So there's something in this for somebody. By taking the time to reassess, this will give you greater clarity to moving forward towards your target. Like, yeah, and that along the way will allow your space to open up and allow all of this energy of love and groundedness and embodiment to really move into your space. I think that, again, there's a lot of red when I just put the cards down on the table in front of me here. This whole side was all red, and this whole side was red and green, or blue and green. So I feel like there is something about those warmer colors, and yeah, I'm really feeling like this is maybe an opportunity to do, if you are a meditating type of person, then this would be an excellent opportunity to do some meditation around the first and second chakra. And, I kind of feel like for some of you, this time of being more embodied may be the first way you've experienced being embodied in this way. So like it feels like there's a lot of like really big sea changes coming here that are going to allow you to experience your life in a way that you've never quite done before. So there's like all of this love energy is going to be deeply transformative for you. And one of the other things that's going to be coming from it is it's going to, it's like a perpetual motion machine in a way, because like once we allow ourselves to see more clearly and reassess a situation, let me say that over again. Once we allow ourselves to see it all and we don't be avoidant or scared of the agency and autonomy that we could have over our life, once we allow ourselves to see that and we invite in that spirit of assessment within the greater bubble of compassion and love for everything and everybody, yourself included, then what that does is it allows more love and compassion to both flow out from us as we take those lessons and reiterate them into their new incarnation. And that in return allows more love to just love and compassion and positivity and creativity, like all of those higher vibration energies are allowing you simultaneously to become grounded and like physically embodied and more present than you've had the opportunity to be before. So, and what that in turn will allow is like another spark towards creativity. And so I kind of see like, and again, maybe this will be the first time for some of you, I kind of feel like for some of you who are makers or creators or artists or people who have ideas to, like if you have something that you create, whether it's physical and tangible or whether it's more metaphorical, I feel like there's going to be a new stepping out for you as well, that this is going to be an opportunity to share as this whole cycle ends and this healing happens and all of this love comes in and allows all of this new transformation to happen. It's giving you an opportunity to share the lessons that you've learned during that completed cycle and bring them out into the world in some way, and to share them with others, so that you can then they can then take those seeds and create growth for themselves from them. I kind of get the feeling that maybe some of you might be healers of some sort. And just incidentally, I picked up my little tarot deck here, I don't know, a few minutes ago as I was, and then never shuffled it and just put it down. But the card that's at the bottom, one of the underlying energy here is the Six of Wands. So like, there is definitely a struggle that you've been through of late surrounding all of these things, boundaries at home and being embodied and being open to love and feeling worthy of love. Like, there has been a lot of growth. There has been a lot of releasing that you've already done just to get to this point. And so this is in a way a time of like hard-earned victory and being able to say, I deserve a parade, dang it. I deserve to be able to be out on a beautiful sunny day and enjoying just the moment of being there. Or if beautiful sunny days aren't your thing, if it's, hanging out on the couch and reading or writing, just allowing yourself to actually be present in that moment and enjoy fully the things that you actually enjoy. So I think that is pretty terrific. Now, before I send you on your way, I am going to pull just a couple more tarot cards. And interesting. Okay. All right. So I feel like maybe your guides are wanting you to also remember that during this grounded time, it's not like everything is going to be perfect. Like, they don't want to have me paint a picture that's so rosy that it implies that there won't be any hardship or difficulty, because like the cards that came out are the Four of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, and the Strength card. And so there's also, I guess, an invitation to remember the lessons that you have learned, and to, during this time of growth and expansion, to be mindful of what is simple human nature, that sometimes we will become overly attached, and that does lead to a jarring of the way the energy is able to move. And that if we can just continue to show up even in those moments with remembering those lessons of how much compassion and mercy are a part of strength, and really the pillar of it, then all good things will come to us. All good things have already come to us and will come to us. I hope you found this helpful, Group 1, and best of luck to you in what looks to be a beautiful period of time coming your way. And I hope you do thoroughly get to enjoy every single iota of it. Don't forget to be kind and gentle with yourself. If you're ever interested in a personal reading, the description below will have information about how to obtain one of those. And please like, comment, subscribe. Again, be well. Hello, Group 2. Welcome to your reading. So we have a selection of both Oracle and Tarot cards. Oh, interesting. We have a study card. Let my mind be clear and strong. Let me study well and long. Okay. We also have the Queen of Wands and the Two of Pentacles and the Six of Swords, the Three of Pentacles. Oh, interesting. Okay. For Oracle cards, we have Giraffe Spirit, seeing the big picture. We also have Discernment. Okay. It's interesting. There's lots of, I feel like you are going to be doing some studies. You're going to be, maybe you're going off to school or entering into classes. And And it's something that's gonna, there's a lot of brain energy here. There's a lot of mental energy here. We also have tsunami, wake up call. Interesting. Let's see, we've got the Keeper of Visions, which is the King of Cups. The, Keeper of Boons, which is the King of Pentacles. Interesting. So there's like two distinct kind of energies coming up here. There's the spirit of being a student and learning new things, and then there's also the spirit of mastery. You've got two kings and a queen, all in different categories. So I wonder if maybe maybe you are a non-traditional student. You're like maybe not in your early 20s or late teens and considering going to school or going back to school to learn something new. We also have gratitude and thanks. And we have here for a hummingbird oracle, natural instincts, know which way to fly. Oh, I love that. I love that. So I feel like and flow. Beautiful, beautiful energy. I feel like, there's been a lot of things that have been shaken up for you lately. And, I feel like maybe this particular reading group too feels like it really is focusing a lot around work and studies and learning new things, and more like in the workspace rather than in the like the relationship space. So the next really positive thing to you is going to be this huge like expansion in terms of knowledge. That's, what's interesting I'm seeing here. So you have the Queen of Wands, you have the King of Cups, and you also have the King of Pentacles. So the only suit not specifically spoken to here is swords. So I'm wondering if there's going to be a, like, whatever you're learning about is like, it's a new way of thinking for you, or a new way of learning something new that's going to shape the way that you think about things. And that's really going to allow you to bring this beautiful balance that's going to waken up your own internal sense of discernment and internal sense of intuition. It's really interesting because there's like both a lot of things happening in the Pentacles realm, including this work card, this Three of Pentacles. This is like not only doing the work but putting your work out into the world and having your work show up in the real world. This showed up in group 1's reading as well. So it's interesting because it's like there's both a lot of things happening in the real, like, physical, tangible world, and yet there's most of the energy for that is coming from more mental energy, in terms of, you've got this discernment call. So with the tsunami card, with the wake up call, I wonder if the wake up call is kind of like that space you're moving out of. Like something in the past has brought you to, in your recent experiences, has brought you to this place of needing to move beyond the things that have occurred in the past. The Six of Swords card is that card of like moving away from chaotic waters and moving away from things that were painful to experience, and moving, like choosing to steer our boat, to steer our path, or to turn our beak in the direction of moving away from that. And so I feel like maybe for you in the recent past, you did get a big wake-up call that really sort of brought you to this place where it's like, I need to do something different. I want to do something different. I have a lot of life experience, but it's time for me to learn something new, or learn a new way of being. And I see that that's not only with this discernment card, this isn't also going to bring you a lot more clarity, but it's also going to allow you to stay in that place of flow. And that place of flow, it's like, that's how we like we are our most creative when the energy around us and moving through us can just flow rather than being hampered by circumstance or even by our own self-limiting beliefs. So I feel like, you know, this, what you're learning, what you're going to be learning here, what you're going to be gaining mastery over is going to give you a much more full view of your reality, and that in turn is going to allow this creative energy to move through you. And it's interesting too, with this first card that came out, we pardon me, have here the study card. Let my mind be clear and strong. Let me study well and long. And so for me right now, what that's also bringing up is that maybe you're coming out of a place where you felt like you could be very focused. Like if there's been a lot of chaos or there's been a lot of shakeups, or, and that can even be internally, if you've been operating from a place of self-doubt, then that can make it feel very difficult for us to just sit down and stay focused and feel present. But I feel like that's space that you're really moving out of. I love too here with this give thank card that we have gratitude and thanks card. Like, look at all of those beautiful butterflies and just look at the, I don't know why that's not focusing properly, but I probably should have cleaned my lens, but just look at the joy that she's experiencing, and it's kind of like flowing all around her. It's kind of, oops, reminding me of this flow card again. Oh, and that's interesting. Oh my gosh. Okay, so look at these two cards. I feel like there's a lot of like magician energy that's coming through with these two cards. Is that being in that space of gratitude and thanks for the things that now you get to study, now you get to learn, now you get to get more mastery over, allows all of the energy to just flow much more. It's really interesting too. So, okay, this won't resonate for everybody, but when I put the cards down, I put this card directly under this card. So I feel like one of the things, you know, this doesn't necessarily mean that you're like that you're enrolled in school and you're going to take classes and you know, go to lectures and things like that. It certainly can mean that, but I don't think it has to. But I feel like whatever it is that you're going to be learning will also serve you well in the future, because like particularly coming out of this space of the tsunami where like there's no way you can surf, there's no way you can swim across the top of a weather phenomenon like that, but if you can learn how to navigate the depths with more acuity, then that really allows you to thrive even more. So, and since this is cups, I kind of feel like maybe there has been like this chaos that's kind of been happening around you that's caused you to like shift and open yourself to learning new things. I feel like maybe that has to do with something that you have experienced on the emotional realm. So, you know, maybe this is it could be that there was a breakup or there was a loss of some sort that really hit you like a tsunami, and you didn't feel like you had the capability to swim the depths of managing that experience without being just like thrown around and beaten up by the experience. So I feel like one of the other things that you're going to learn, even if it's not like specifically something you're intending to, something you're going to learn about this upcoming process of learning, not sound too repetitive, is going to serve you well in a lot of other facets of your life as well, just in terms of dealing with that sense of overwhelm and chaos. And like, yeah, this is what you're going to be learning is going to help you see the bigger picture better and help you, yeah, like help you get discernment so that this is an interesting thing that happens, right? Is that like sometimes when we can see the big picture, that allows us to focus in on the details and enjoy them and have gratitude and thanks for them. You know, it's kind of like, well, just, you know, an example from my own life, I guess, is that, you know, a couple of years ago I lost a couple of people that I hold a lot of love for, and it was an incredibly painful experience that just rocked my world, unlike anything else I've ever experienced. And on the one hand, that definitely, you know, opened my eyes and helped me lengthen my neck like a giraffe to get a better idea of the bigger picture. And in terms of how that showed up for me specifically, like when I was really in the throes of it and of the grief cycle, pardon me, when I was really in the throes of the grief cycle, one of the things that I did is I kind of just expanded my garden. I went a little just bananas with the garden. I did not plant bananas because I don't live in that climate, unfortunately. But, and so having a bigger picture view of life and the life cycles of it, and how life doesn't always thrive, and sometimes, not sometimes, always, inevitably, life ends. That gave me a greater appreciation for the beauty of the plants that did grow and that did thrive. It gave me a special appreciation of what was right there on a very micro scale. So it's interesting. I feel like, I mean, certainly your circumstances are very different, but I feel like, you know, whatever this is that you've experienced, this turmoil in the past, has also, maybe you felt like it kind of clouded you, and maybe even now as you're like, as this new period of being able to learn and experience in a whole new way, I think that, you know, if that's something that is maybe making you even feel some sort of like sense of self-doubt, almost like you've not managed to, like, there's been something that's been impeding you from fully engaging with your intuitive self. And like, this card is just really wanting to reiterate for you that you do have those natural instincts, and that that you do have the ability to tune in with what your intuition wants to tell you in terms of in which directions your life should move, and how should you take these bigger lessons and move them forward into new learning. Basically, how do you level up? You know, that your intuition already knows that, and you know, this little Hummer just wants to remind you that you do have access to that information. You don't need it from the cards or from me or from anybody. You already have that available to you, and that this new experience of growth and having had this tsunami happen, it's kind of washed away in a way, different parts of you. And you know, it's interesting. It's like there's so much like nurturing, beautiful energy of growth here, and yet I keep getting this feeling that there's been like that you've been experiencing, yeah, like self-doubt in some way, or like you just have a lot of, maybe it's not even just self-doubt, it's just doubt in general, that it's been this period of not knowing. It's just been a big period of not knowing. And you know, if that's the case for you, if this resonates for you, then like you're moving out of that space, and you're moving towards a lot of new experiences that are going to bring a lot of new learning and a lot of new opportunities to study and to create and to move beyond, and kind of leave that baggage behind, and you know, learn how to manage that chaos from a more centered place, so that it doesn't impinge your ability to fly. Um, I'm going to pull a few more tarot cards before I send you on your way. This is really lovely energy. Like, there's so much wisdom. There's a lot of wisdom in these cards, and wisdom that has been difficult to come by, that has come through the process of being forged in a way. But it's the person that you've been forged into, like there's so much awesomeness coming your way, like we see reconnecting with intuition, having mastery over the realm of pentacles, and being disciplined and abundant and grounded, and in a cave full of glittery goodness. that's all of your making, and being able to navigate those watery depths, the depths of our own emotions and our own selves, being able to navigate that with just like it's your second home, or well, first home. I guess that would be the first home of the fish. Oh, that's funny. Like there, and with the Queen of Wands as well, getting mastery over that creative aspect of yourself, and all of the like wonderful bold energy that comes from having an understanding of one's creative processes and how they work, and what we bring into the world and what we're capable of bringing into the world. Okay, so we have here the Moon card, and the Knight of Cups. Oh, nice. And the King of Swords. Oh, and isn't that interesting, because that swords, that was the one suit that we didn't have previously a court card from. And so, all right, so I feel like as final messages, which your guides are wanting you to understand, that is that like this, all of this learning that you're doing that will, again, just level you up in terms of discernment, is also going to bring a lot of gifts. There, you'll find that the more you learn, the more you want to learn. It's kind of like a path, right? And it's like once you start to learn, and you can tune in to what experiences and lessons really resonate with you and really are hard to put down in some way, then that's kind of the, that sort of lights our way forward. And so I feel like that's going to be one of the gifts that you get as well, is that this studying this, what you're going to be learning about, and all of the new creative experiences and all of the new people that's going to put you in touch with, is going to really open up new emotional space for you as well. And then with the Moon card, and I love that this came out, like even at the same time that there is all of this growth and all of this additional clarity that you're going to be moving into, and reconnecting with your intuition, and being in that space of wisdom and gratitude and thanks and discernment, like there will still be mysteries. Like not all of the answers will be clear to you. It's not like this, I'm telling you that you're moving into a place of having full understanding of all aspects of your life, and like, oh, I'm done now. Like there still will be like beautiful mysteries, like to entice your intuition to continue learning. But I feel like this is really a time to enjoy the lessons that you're going to learn, not only for the gifts that they will bring you in the future and how they'll serve you in the future, but also to actually learn, or to actually enjoy the process of learning in and of itself, and to have gratitude and thanks for this time in your life where you are here to have this new growth happen. Like that whatever this tsunami wake up call was, you did manage to survive it, and you are taking change that needs to be made from it, and that's going to yield a lot of beautiful things for you. So group 2, I hope you found this helpful and inspiring. I think your autumn and winter is going to be awesome. Like, there's so many good things coming, and I think it's going to be a really beautiful time for you. So I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to be kind and gentle with yourself. If you're interested in a personal reading, the information will be in the description box below on how to do that. And otherwise, please like, comment, subscribe. That's super helpful. And it also encourages me to continue to making these videos, because I get in spaces of self-doubt too. And so it's nice to get that feedback from y'all. And otherwise, I think that's it. Be well. Hello, group 3. Welcome to your reading. We've got here a selection of oracle cards and tarot cards. Ooh, first card to come out is True Love Come to Me. True love shall come to me, as I do will, so mote it be. We also have the King of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, the 10 of Feathers, otherwise known, or Arrows, otherwise known as the 10 of Swords. We have the, oh, this is so interesting. This couple of these cards came out in group 2 as well. The 2 of Pentacles. We also have, for a hummingbird oracle, Joyous Nectar, fill up on the sweetness of life. Oh, I feel like Crow Spirit, co-create with spirit. Oh, this is one of my favorites. One of my favorites. And we have Revolution. Oh, I feel like, yeah, there's some big comings to an end. And it's funny, group 1 also had their oracle card from this deck was about love. So not necessarily true love, although true love and love seem very similar to me. We have ancestors and generations. Oh, big stuff. Okay. We have the sun. Beautiful, beautiful. We also have the 6 of Pentacles. This showed up in, I think, deck 1 as well. Ah, nice. We have the Earth Magic card. And then we have the moon. Oh my gosh, I love this. Oh, group 3. You got so much good stuff coming to you. I feel like you are moving into a huge stage of like personal growth and healing. And well, I like, that's not an uncommon message for me to get. I feel like maybe you are healers. Like, you have been on a path of learning how to find your own light so that you can then learn how to broadcast that light into the world. I also feel like with this Ancestors card and Generations card, and with the Revolution, and with the 10 of Pentacles, I feel like there has been a lot of big stuff that has come up for you. You maybe in terms of your family, and that like you're really ending a big cycle, in a big painful cycle that brought you a lot of difficulty, and that brought you a lot of suffering, and like that you're wrapping all of that up. Like, there's a lot of endings here and a lot of new beginnings. And with the 6 of Boons, there's also that feeling of, or that energy of being so abundant that it just kind of like flows out of you. So this is the spirit of altruism and of giving, because we have enough that we can give. I feel here like with this earth magic, like I said, I feel like maybe some of you, these cards speak so much to me of like high priestess energy and magician energy. Magician in the sense of like using the force of our will, but in the realm of the divine feminine, and getting in touch with our intuition and our spirituality, and the universe, and whatever lingo you like to choose. But I feel like there's all of this difficulty is opening that you've been experiencing, and all of the growth and all of the like harder lessons that you've had to learn from it are opening up this space within yourself for you to hold genuine love and affection for yourself, and that's kind of like the key to finding your own light. Because once you are in a place of working through your generational or family of origin baggage, or what's another word for agreements, like different agreements, spiritual agreements that we have with people, not necessarily like covert human to human agreements, but like the agreements that we sign on for when we come into this life, that we set up for ourselves as challenges to work through. And it seems like you've been working through a lot of that, and that you will be working through a lot of that. And as you kind of let a lot of that stuff go that isn't actually and wasn't actually yours to begin with, and that allows you to let this your own light flow, that's going to bring this, not only with it this abundance and this like revolution of allowing things to change, and not only the altruism of like being so abundant that it just falls from you and moves into the world from you, but also this place of greater equilibrium, and specifically equilibrium within the self. And even with this Four of Pentacles card, it's interesting because like a lot of the times the message that I get from this card is that, it's a invitation for us to be mindful of our attachment to things, and not even necessarily just like physical things, but the ideas of things, or an over attachment to an outcome. Like if you're looking for a new place to live, and you're like, well, it's got to have this, and 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 it's got to have this. It's almost like it goes beyond picking your needs, and goes to this place of being so over attached with the specific exact idea of how it's going to look, that you don't even look at the other apartment that came out that actually has all of those needs met, because it doesn't quite match your internal mental picture of what that should look like. So of course that's just an example. This could show up literally in tons of ways, but regardless, I feel like with the Four of Pentacles, that's kind of the energy that most often comes up, is like an invitation for us to be mindful of our attachments to such things. But with regards to this reading, I really feel like it's also, I feel like there's this energy of learning who you are, and learning how to be valuing of yourself, and also protective of yourself, and not like overprotective where we unnecessarily keep people out or anything like that. I do believe in having an open heart, but I also believe that there are times when if we are in a place where we're operating from a lot of unhelpful programming that we've received from different people or different places at different times in our lives, then that kind of keeps us in a place where we might throw ourselves under the bus. So say you're in disagreement with a person, and like it never even occurs to you to think about whether that disagreement, that person was being like fair to you. You just automatically assume that you did something wrong because there was disharmony in a situation. So it can kind of show up like that too. But regardless, I feel like where this energy that's going to be coming at you and coming to you is going to be a place of real self-honoring, and kind of like acknowledging that you have this abundant energy, that you are the keeper of the star, that it's really right there within your reach. All you have to do is claim it. But part of claiming it is claiming responsibility and worthiness for yourself, like giving yourself the love and acceptance. This might be the first time that you've been in this place where you've been able to offer yourself that, like especially with both this card showing up and this card showing up. I feel like maybe there was a lot of baggage. That I keep using the word baggage. I don't even like that word. We're going to use the word programming. There's a huge crow, by the way. How beautiful. That just landed on the porch, or on the wire that's right outside my window, and he's a big one. Hi, gorgeous. And that also brings me, well, maybe interrupts me, but brings me back to this card. You see, cutie? That's a picture of you. Yeah. Anyways, so, being able to co-create with spirit is something that we can do more fruitfully when we are fully on our own side, when we are fully in ourselves, when we fully show up for ourselves and love ourselves. And I feel like your circumstances, maybe there has just been like an extraordinary amount of stuff to have to work through. Like you were given lots of programming, and it's taken you a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of work to move to this space of being on the cusp of really committing to yourself, really like kind of falling in love with yourself in a way, and in the way that you are choosing to show up and honor yourself and honor everything that has brought you to this moment, even all of the programming that you have had to disengage from, or learn how to have better discernment and understanding of. And like this is going to bring to you a real bounty of sweetness. This hummingbird card, fill up with on the sweetness of life. And you can fill up on the sweetness of life, because once you learn how to be in that place of deep love and acceptance and honoring for the self, then you learn how to make sure that cup always stays full. And so that's always a safe place. That's always a place of that you can come back to check in with, and make sure that you do preserve your own self-interest. And I don't mean to do that in a selfish way. I get the feeling that you all know exactly what I mean, like by this, that maybe you're a person who has been overgiving to your own detriment in the past. And so this tuning in with yourself and your intuition and becoming masterful over that energy is really something that's really kind of new for you. And it really, it's bringing like, I'm just noticing about this possum, and I feel like maybe I've noticed this before, but like, even with this very, very difficult energy of finality, like there's so much beauty in this card. And one of the things that I really like about it is that, like, even though it feels incredibly painful, even though or unhelpful and negative, like the stuff that we've been giving, the programming that we've been given, if you actually look closely at this card, this possum is actually completely uninjured. There is nothing actually piercing him. He has in his hand and tail the ability to remove those unhelpful thoughts from his own heart space. And so, like, all he needs to do is kind of like turn his head, see that beautiful sunset in the distance, and choose to be self-preserving and to not be self-punishing. So sorry it took me so long to get that. That is what it is right there. I feel like there has been this like miasma of self-punishment that has shown up in your life. And I'm not trying to blame you or shame you for it. There's a reason why it showed up, but there's no reason for it to stay. If we've learned the lessons of where those things come from, then we're fully able to step out of them. And there's real beauty in that. And I feel like there's going to be a real like yeah, like coming into yourself, and that's going to pop off your intuition. And like I said, I feel a lot of healing energy coming through on this. So maybe you're a tarot reader or a psychic reader of some sort or an intuitive of some sort. I feel like the more you become phased with yourself, like instead of being out of phase energetically with the self, the more you step into your own power, the more easily that the downloads will come. I have experienced for myself that when I am experiencing moments, or I mean, sometimes it's not just moments, sometimes it's days where that old energy of self-doubt and self-judgment really comes back really, really strong. Those are also the times when it becomes a little bit harder for me to check in with my intuitive self. And like, not necessarily that it becomes harder, it requires more conscious effort. It requires me to be in a like place of meditation or something like that. Whereas when I'm in a place of being more self-loving genuinely and more self-accepting and less judgmental of myself, then I feel like that intuitive information from, wherever the heck it comes from, I've got my ideas, you can have yours. But where, that intuitive information that comes through from spirit, it comes through a lot easier. And I'm also, because I'm not in a place of judgment, it comes through and I don't immediately try and like just push it away or pretend it's not real in some way. So I feel like if being a healer or being an intuitive, if that's stuff, or being a light worker even, again with the sunlight card coming up, if any of those words resonate for you, then I think this is going to be a fantastic time where you're going to see a lot of your intuitive gifts start to open up and start to become more discernible to you. And you're being invited to kind of like lean into that spirit of co-creating a little bit with your intuitive self. So if you have a spiritual practice of sorts, or of any sort, or a meditative practice of any sort, then that might be a good idea to look into ways to kind of tailor your meditation time towards tuning into your higher self, and seeing if those messages can come through any clearer now that you're in this space of really truly being in a space of deep love and respect for yourself. Okay, so we're gonna pull a couple more tarot cards before we send you on your way and just get any final messages. Nice. All right, so okay, cool. So we have the Seven of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords, the Three of Cups, and the Ten of Pentacles. And I feel like the final message that's kind of coming through here is that like there will be times, I mean, even if you just listen to the words that I just said with regards to myself, there will be times when that programming will come back a little bit. And you're being invited to remember when that happens that it's just programming, and there's nothing wrong with you. You're not doing anything wrong by wanting to be empowered and embodied in your old life and make your own choices from a place of being open-hearted and curious and compassionate about what life has to hold for you. You're also being invited that in those times when that sense of self-doubt, or you start to really get down on yourself and think that there's something wrong with you or that you're doing something wrong, you're being invited in those times to allow your relationships with other people to help you refill your cups and recognize your own abundance, because it's like sometimes when you have that space, I'll just use I language. Sometimes when I get in that space where I do get into that more self-doubting, then it's really hard to get out of it because I'm the only one in my head. But if you can put that aside for a few minutes and go and have some time with your friends and just be reminded of those connections that you have with people and how valuable those are to you. And if they're valuable to you and they're valuable to other people, then there must be value in you. Therefore, you're valuable, and you can get rid of that unhelpful those unhelpful whisperings that start to come back. So it's kind of like remembering. Sometimes we need to, especially if you're into typology at all. I think if you are an extroverted feeling type, then we do sometimes need some affirmation from people around us to remind us of our worth when we are in moments where we forget that. So anyhow, group 3, I hope you found this helpful, and I hope you found it interesting. Please don't forget to be kind and gentle with yourself. If you're interested in a personal reading, that information will be in the description box below. Please like, comment, subscribe. It really does help me personally to just feel encouraged to make more videos like this. And till next time, don't forget to be kind and gentle with yourself. I think I already said that. And be well.